Windows 7 installation. In this section, we're going to install Windows 7 on a machine. In later sections, we will be installing software, preparing it to connect to the domain, and connecting it to the domain. To contact us or to learn about other video series as well as our consulting services, please visit OpenSmallBusinessSolutions.com. In order to install Windows 7, we need the install media. Generally speaking, you do not want to use install media that's from an OEM vendor. It's recommended to use the official Microsoft media. If you go to healydoc.net and click on Science and Technology, you can find download links for Windows 7. You scroll down to your language and your version, whether you want the 32-bit or the 64-bit. You can click on it and download. The other thing you need to do is make sure that you have VirtualBox installed. I'm running Linux Mint, so I'm going to go to a terminal and type sudo apt-get install VirtualBox-4.3. And I already have it installed, so there's actually nothing to do in this case. If you're on another platform, you can go to virtualbox.org/wiki/downloads to download the VirtualBox that is appropriate for your platform. The next thing that we're going to do is go into the VirtualBox Manager and create a virtual machine. I'm going to call this machine Win7_Pro_64. Make sure that the version is Windows 7 64-bit. I'm going to increase the amount of memory because 512 is not optimal. I would say optimal would be over 1 gigabyte. I'm going to accept the default for a 25 gigabyte hard drive. It's always good to start with a small hard drive because when you're using Parted Magic and Clonezilla to make copies, there's no easy way to go from a large hard drive to a smaller hard drive. However, if you start out from a smaller hard drive, it's no problem to increase the size to a larger drive. So I'm going to click Create. And I'm also going to create a second virtual drive. I'll right-click on Settings. Click on the SATA controller and the plus sign next to the disk. Add hard drive. And I want to create a new drive. I want to go with dynamically allocated. I'll keep that at the 25 gig. But this drive I'd like to call backup. Click Create. And then the last thing we need to do is associate the ISO image with the CD. And I want to choose my Windows 7 ISO. And now we can start up the virtual machine. As you can see, it's loading the files. Tells us it's starting Windows. We're going to accept English and United States and click Install. Accept the licensing terms. If you just click Next, it will install with the default options. I've shrunk down the amount of time that this takes quite a bit. It's going to be restarting. We can type in our username and computer name and click Next. We can type in a password and we can type in a product key, but we're not going to right now. We're just going to leave it without a key. That will create a file. We won't do automatic updates at the moment. I'm going to select Eastern Time. Click Next. And I'm going to go with Home Network. And here we are, it logged us on. So in this section, we went through a basic install of Windows 7. And in the future segments, we're going to install software, configure it, and make an image of it for deployment onto multiple machines.